How you doing, everybody? Daniel Mosnet here with Cowboy Charcoal, and we have some great recipes for you today. Today we're going to show you how to do a one-sheet pan dinner when you're busy, weeknight, on the pellet grill. Super simple recipes that we have for you today, and we're going to show you how to take a flank steak, roll it up with some cheese and some vegetables, toss in some carrots on the side, and you've got a really easy meal for dinner tonight. So let's get started. First thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pellet smoker going. Now, you can see I've got a lot of smoke coming from the grill, and I'm gonna show you why. Not only do we have our Cowboy charcoal and hickory pellets. Now, we take real charcoal from our Cowboy lump charcoal and put it in the pellet, so you get all of that true flavor of cooking over charcoal with the ease of the pellet grill. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna get our smoker really hot. Now, I've also added a little bit of extra smoke. So if you can see inside, I've got some actual mesquite chunks. Now, these mesquite chunks, just pure mesquite, I've set right on the right side of my smoker, so they get all of that heat and they just continue to smoke, because beef loves the smoke that mesquite brings. So I love all of that beautiful smoke flavor, so I'm just gonna let these continue to smoke and really bring that smoky flavor inside, because that's really what I'm gonna rely on for all the flavor in this dish. So now that that is up and running, and we're at about 435 degrees, I'm gonna show you how to put your flank steak together. And this is pretty simple. There's a few steps involved, but overall it's pretty simple. So we'll take our flank steak, and when you open it up, this is a pretty big piece of meat, and it's very versatile. You can use flank steak for fajitas, you can marinate it and throw it straight on the grill for a simple cook. You can use it in skewers, so many different uses. But one of the main things is you wanna try to take away as much fat off the back end as you can. And there's sometimes a little bit of that silver skin, so you just kind of want to peel that away whenever possible. I don't like a lot of fat on my flank steak, so it's nice for me just to take it off and make sure that it's as clean as possible, okay? This one wasn't too fatty. Trying to keep my board underneath clean, so I've got a piece of paper underneath, so it's just easy cleanup, okay? And there we go. So now we are ready to go with our flank steak, okay? The first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna add some spinach. We're gonna add spinach, feta cheese, and roasted bell peppers, all to the inside. Then we're gonna roll it up as tightly as we can and tie it, so you have a nice little spiral, a nice little wheel. So we'll add some fresh spinach. You can add as much spinach as you want. You can add anything else, you know, any other kind of green in there that you like. I think spinach is the easiest flavor to cook. I like to use baby spinach because the leaves are nice and small and they are easy to cook down when it's all rolled up inside. Okay, so we'll just add, I don't know, a couple of cups, maybe 2 or 3 cups or so of spinach to the inside of the flank steak. Now, don't forget, we're gonna have to try and roll all of this together as well. So from there, we're gonna add, I roasted some bell peppers. This is an optional step. You don't need to add the roasted bell peppers. I love the flavor of roasted bell peppers. And I think roasted bell peppers and flank steak are a match made in heaven. And then I'm gonna add some feta cheese. Crumbled feta, any kind of cheese you like. You can do blue cheese, you can do fontina cheese, whatever you like. I like a cheese that's not gonna give me a lot of stringy. I wouldn't necessarily use mozzarella in here because I think it's gonna kind of string out too much for my taste. So I wouldn't use mozzarella, but a nice feta cheese. And then kind of smash it down, because don't forget, we're gonna have to roll this as much as we can, okay? So once we have this flattened down a little bit, we're gonna take our string. Now, some folks, it's very easy for them just to, they're butchers, and it's easy for them just to take their string and roll it out. I'm just gonna do a few individual pieces so I can tie as I go. Okay, we'll start with 2. And then as you roll, you just try to pull and press and keep as much as you can inside. And just keep rolling it all the way over. So you have one nice log. Okay, and don't try to push in from the inside so you keep all of those flavors inside as much as possible. Now we'll take our string and we'll tie it up. You don't need to soak your string at all. It's not gonna catch, it's not gonna burn. Don't worry about that. Take a second string. You want about every 3 inches is about where you want your tie. I'm gonna do another one on the end to make sure that my ends don't fall apart. Okay, push everything right back inside. Tighten it up. And run right on the end. Okay. Okay, now that we've got everything stuffed inside, now prior to stuffing everything inside, if you want to season the inside of the flank steak, you can. I typically just season the outside because we have so many flavors inside, but that's completely up to you. So we'll coat the top with a little bit of olive oil. That helps to bind all of the seasonings that we're going to put on. And then I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of Jack Daniel's beef rub. Okay, and for a little added seasoning and a little added flavor, I'm also gonna add a little Jack Daniel's steak seasoning. So we've got beef rub as the base flavor on top, and then a little steak seasoning as well. So we are plenty seasoned. This is why I didn't add seasoning to the inside of the flank steak, but it's up to you. Make it your own. If you want to, you can. Once that's done, we're gonna take our sheet pan. Remember, this is a simple sheet pan dinner. We're just gonna put that right on top, okay? So step 2 for our dish, we've got our beef ready to go. That's ready to put on the grill. We're gonna add some carrots. You could do carrots and potatoes. You could do carrots, potatoes, and broccoli. We're just gonna do carrots today. And I've taken my carrots. I like to leave the stems on the end because I think it looks kind of neat when we serve it. We're gonna add those to a bowl. We need a little bit of butter and brown sugar because that makes carrots taste fantastic. So we've melted a little bit of butter. And we're gonna put a little bit of brown sugar in there. We're gonna mix that together. When you mix this together, you're really just trying to make a little bit of a paste, because all this brown sugar is gonna caramelize all over the carrots. So don't worry that if it's too melted, it's not a big deal. If your brown sugar is a little clumpy, it'll all break down. Don't worry about it. I'll also add just a little bit of beef rub. Just kind of carry those flavors all the way through. Not too much, maybe about a half a teaspoon or so. And then we'll pour this over the carrots, put that right to the sheet pan, and then it goes right into the pellet smoker. Give these a good toss. Make sure that you get your carrots as coated as you can. You can add a little salt and pepper there as well. Give it a nice coat. See how all that's coated? We'll grab our flank steak. We'll put these right next to it. Make sure you get all of that brown sugar mixture. Arrange these kind of nicely on the sheet pan. And there's your one sheet pan dinner. You got all your flank steak and your veggies inside. You've got your carrots here. Again, you can use any kind of carrots you want, potatoes, whatever your favorite is. And you just take this and you put it right inside. Now we'll let that cook at about 450 for somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes or so until the internal temperature reaches about 125. Then we need to let it rest for about 10 minutes and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, our flank steak stuffed with pepper, spinach, and feta has been cooking for about 20 minutes, right about 450 degrees. So we're gonna go in there and give it a temp. It should be somewhere around 125 to 130. And I'll show you what to do when we get up to that point. So you can see we're cooking our carrots are nice and soft and tender. We'll give this a temp. We're at 122 in the thickest part of the meat and about 120 internal. So at this point, you can see that our meat has been smoking, so it has a nice red color, but it doesn't really have a very good sear color. So I'm gonna take this off. This is completely optional. You can let this come up to 125 and then take it off. I'm gonna take it off and then sear it on the side. So we'll just take it, and you can hear that sizzle, you can hear that searing sound. We'll give it about 2 minutes on each side and just continue to roll it, and that'll give it a little bit more caramelization, a little bit more color, look a little bit more appetizing. All right, our flank steak's been cooking for about 20 minutes or so. We've temped it a few times, and it's 125 in the middle, which is exactly what you want to look for. That's a nice and medium rare. So let's take it off and show you what it looks like. Look at that. And you can see we've got beautiful caramelization on our carrots, and they're nice and soft, and we'll let our flank steak rest for just about 5 minutes or so. It's important that you make sure you let your beef rest as soon as you take it out of the grill or the oven or however you're cooking it, because you gotta let all of those juices come back to the center. So we'll just put a piece of foil right on top, let that rest for about 5 minutes. All right, so as we sit and let this rest, I wanna show you a little bit about smoking with wood chunks on a pellet grill. You can see what our chunks look like. Right on the edge of the pellet grill, we just set our chunk, and there's plenty of heat inside of the grill. Since all of the Cowboy wood chunks are kiln dried, they smoke extremely quickly. So we just put that right on the end where it can get access to some heat, and you can see all of the charring and all the smoke that's come off, and that's what's helped give this such a beautiful red color. So these are our mesquite chunks here, and I put about 6 chunks in there. And there's one of the other ones. Just a nice, steady mesquite smoke to really make sure that you get enough smoke flavor from your pellet grill. You've got beautiful charcoal flavors. You've got all the smoke that you need with the hickory and the mesquite. This is gonna taste fantastic. All right, let's slice this up and see what it looks like. Now we'll take our string off completely, and we'll just start making some nice slices just straight down. You can see what that looks like all the way through. So I'm just gonna serve mine right on a cutting board here. Get a few pieces of flank steak. And there you have a one-pan, easy meal for your dinner tonight. I'm gonna dig in because this looks absolutely fantastic. I want to take a bite with all of that feta cheese. Wow, that's fantastic. I'm Daniel Mosnet with Cowboy Charcoal. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe all of our social media channels for this and so many more great recipes. And until next week, keep cooking with Cowboy.